We joined the army of uniformed officers who were attempting to relieve the pressure by diverting some of the protesters down the side streets or into the quadrangle of Christ Church College. It must have been round about 3:30 when we finally managed to get the crowd to disperse. We were setting up a police cordon to keep pedestrians off the road so that the traffic, which by then was backing up down the Abington Road beyond Folly Bridge, almost to the bypass, could start flowing again, when one of the demonstrators called out to us. I ran over to see what she wanted. She was standing over a young man who was lying motionless on the ground. Another girl was kneeling down beside him, slapping him on the cheek and calling out, "Are you all right? Wake up!" Both girls looked to be in their teens, and my immediate thought was, why aren't they in school? However, I was more concerned about the young man, whose face looked strangely grey, and whose eyes seemed to be staring into nowhere. As I watched, his limbs suddenly began jerking in rapid spasms, and his face took on a series of weird expressions. I'd been told about epileptic seizures during my training, but I'd never seen one in real life. Was this what it looked like? What was it you were supposed to do? "It's all right," I found myself saying, putting as much authority as I could muster into my voice. "I'm a police officer. Just move back a bit to give him more room." I took off my jacket and folded it up to act as a makeshift pillow. Then I turned him over into the recovery position, placing the jacket under his head. The convulsions seemed to be decreasing in strength and becoming less frequent. Perhaps he would recover by himself in a few minutes. I certainly hoped so. "I'll call an ambulance." I looked round and saw Sergeant Fuller standing over me. "Carry on with the first aid, Porter. You're doing a great job there." I didn't feel I was doing anything much, but Fuller's words spurred me on, and I started talking to the young man, telling him that he was safe and that the ambulance would be here soon. Up above me I could hear Fuller questioning the two girls. "Are you friends of his? Can you tell me his name?" "No, sorry," they mumbled back. "We've never met him before today." "I think he was with some other people," one of them volunteered after a few moments, "but they aren't here now." "We all got mixed up when the pushing started," the other added. "Did you happen to see which way the others went?" "No, sorry," they repeated in unison. "It was all just such a mess," came the first voice again. "We were just concentrating on not getting separated." "We don't know anyone else here," the other explained, "so we wanted to keep together. We weren't expecting it to be like this. We thought it was just a rally to show we don't want nuclear weapons here." "All right, never mind," Fuller said kindly. "It probably doesn't matter. I expect he'll come round soon, and he'll be able to tell us who he is himself, and who his friends are. But please stick around. The ambulance crew may want to ask you some questions about what happened to him." The two girls retreated to the side of the road and stood leaning against the honey-coloured stone wall that bounded Christ Church College. They appeared very uncomfortable. I'm guessing they weren't looking forward to being cross-examined about what they knew of the unfortunate young man, who was now lying still as if he had fallen asleep with his eyes open. Fuller kneeled down next to me and started going through the lad's pockets, looking for something that would tell us who he was. He started with the inside pocket of his anorak, presumably assuming that that was the most likely place for valuables, such as a wallet or driving licence. No luck there, so he tried the outer pockets. "Well, looky here," he exclaimed, holding out a transparent plastic syringe with a hypodermic needle still attached. "I'd say that puts a different complexion on things, don't you?"